Good morning, kids. So, shit's getting crazy over here in the land of Nuevo Mexico. Um, so a couple days ago, our governor held a press conference, and basically she stated, um, not so much a shelter in place as like just fucking stay at home. Don't be a dumbass. Fucking stay at home. So, and I'm like, the fact that you even have to write this down and then give a speech, kind of disturbs me. Disturbs me. What the fuck are you people doing that is so goddamn important that you can't stay at home? Huh? Don't tell me go to work. What the fuck, guys? Look, I know it sucks. I know that this whole social isolation thing is really difficult on everybody. I get that. Or at least those of you that are actually social. Because for me, it's a fucking picnic. I'm like, you mean I have an excuse to stay home? Hallelujah. So yeah, just guys, stay at home, read a book, read to your kids. Okay, look, at one point in my life, when I was a young mom, I I worked as a teaching assistant at my son's Head Start, and I loved it. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. But at the same time, Jesus Christ, people, learn how to raise your kids. And if you hear my cats, sorry. When mom passed away, prior to her passing, I actually took custody of her cat. Because it was getting to be too much for her to take care of him. So now we don't just have Klaus, our magical crime fighting buddy, but we also have Dammit. And yes, that's his name. His name is Dammit. He's a 13-year-old long hair, orange tabby. Anyway, so I worked as a teaching assistant and I had a lot of fun. And, you could always tell the kids whose parents read to them on a regular basis because they would try to climb into my lap for story time. And I got to tell you, kids, this was 20 years ago. Not a whole lot of kids were climbing in my lap at that point or trying to. Y'all need to read to your kids because reading to your children does a lot. And I have read to every single one of my kids nightly from the day they were born. And primarily because a child who reads, a child who develops a love of reading is a child that develops a natural curiosity, is a child who develops a natural love of the world. So, somebody had asked me on, one of my videos, the first of the most recent videos, to, sort of give like some parenting thoughts and stuff because I'm a mom of 6. And just really quick, you're not going to hear my kids in these videos moving forward until the end of this quarantine because right now they are all staying with my ex-husband because he's a disabled veteran. He doesn't have to go out into the world, so they can all stay nice and safe and away from all of this madness. I am deemed essential, so I have to continue going to work regardless, whether, I want to or not. And thankfully I love my job, so I want to. So you're not going to hear my kids in the quarantine videos because I have made sure to put them somewhere where I feel that they're going to remain safe for the duration. So yeah, and let me tell you, it's not easy. But having been a parent of 6, at varying stages of development, I can tell you, first of all, it's never easy. Second of all, anybody who tries to tell you that they are having the easiest time of being a parent is full of shit. Where we got this thing of like, oh, well, you must be a fantastic parent if, your kids are easy and blah, blah, blah. Look, Your kid might be easy now, whatever, whatever time period or stage of development where they're behaving is, they might be easy at the moment. I can guarantee you that shit can change in less than 5 minutes. I can guarantee you that. At one time, I had every age range from toddler to teenager. And let me tell you something, the toddlers whined less. Okay? So never, ever think that just because your kid is relatively, simple to take care of at the moment, like, they go to bed without much of a fuss, they eat all their veggies, they don't make a whole lot of noise, they entertain themselves very well, they don't kick up a fuss with you in the grocery store. Never think that that's the way that shit's gonna stay, because it's not. Ever. And if it does, you're drugging them. And let's talk about that. I've known people who think that they're so fucking clever for dosing their kids with Benadryl every fucking night. Listen, pal, understand this. First of all, that child did not ask to be here. That's y'all's first fucking mistake, is parents who think that the kid needs to cater themselves to the parent. No. Bad. The child did not ask to be here. You called them into being. You called them into existence. And maybe that's where people are losing it now that I think about it. Maybe people lose how amazing being a parent is because they forget that part of the being a parent process is you created life. You looked at your partner and you made this decision, whether you actually looked at your partner and were like, hey, let's have a baby, or, you had a surprise pregnancy and decided, you know what, let's do it. Either way, it's just as amazing. I mean, think about it. From absolutely nothing, you and your partner reached up into the heavens, metaphorically speaking, and plucked this little soul and created this living, breathing, sentient being with self-awareness, the capacity to learn, the capacity to change the world. And you put together all of these mystical building blocks to create a person. If you don't realize how fucking amazing that is, if you don't look at your kids every single day and go, holy shit, I created life. That's like some Frankenstein God shit, guys. And a lot of parents need to remember that. How insanely sacred and mystical that really is. And it's easy for us to lose that in the bustle of everyday life. It's easy for us to forget that, but occasionally look at your kid and realize there's a whole working supercomputer stored in the top of that giant head on top of that skinny little body. And you made it. And maybe if you guys remembered how incredibly miraculous that is every now and then, maybe you would be better parents to your children. But this is where people get it wrong. They're wanting to make parenting convenient for themselves, and there's no such thing. There's no such thing. It's not going to happen. Your first clue of that shit is the labor. The fact that you can't control when you have that child, that when you go into labor, the fact that you have no say in it, you're just kind of sitting there waiting for your kid to decide, okay, I'm ready to come out now. That is your first sign that life is not about you anymore. That's your first fucking clue. And I'm just enough of a hippie. With my oldest daughter, I go in for my first prenatal appointment, and she's like, would you like to start considering scheduling an induction date? What? No, sweetheart. See, I'm enough of a hippie that if this child is supposed to be born on this day and I have her on that day, I'm going to fuck her up for the rest of her life. No, thank you. I'll wait. And I did. And yeah. Maybe one of these days I'll do a series of videos on the pregnancy and delivery of each of my kids, because let me tell you, out of 6 kids, I've had damn near every labor and delivery experience that you could have with it being a natural delivery. I was very fortunate. I did not have to have C-sections with any of my children. And you motherfuckers that want to talk shit to moms who've had C-sections, I'm going to backhand you. Because that is not the easy way out. Most C-sections happen when something has gone seriously wrong, when the mother or the child or both's life is in danger. Do you get that? That's not the easy way. They fillet your fucking ass open to pull this child from you, and then they stitch you up, and you've got this huge incision. Listen, after I had my last child, my youngest, I had a tubal ligation. Relatively simple fucking run-of-the-mill procedure, right? They went through my belly button. 1-inch incision in my belly button. And they go in there, and the funniest thing is that when I go in, they've got me strapped to this table like Jesus. And the anesthesiologist is up here by my head, and he's like, hey, is there any music that you'd like to listen to while they do this? And I was like, yeah, AC/DC. And they're wheeling me out of the theater, and the fucking surgeon's like, that's a first. So I go home with a brand new baby and a 1-inch incision in my belly button. And think about that. They had to cut through. This goes into our forensics. This is the shitty part about being a criminologist who understands a little bit more about the world than the average citizen, is you can break down how this fucking shit went down. So they had to cut through my skin and my belly button. Then they had to cut through the fat. And let's face facts, I got a lot of it. And then they have to cut through the muscle until they get to the internal cavity. And then they pull the fallopian tubes out of that 1-inch incision, and they cut off sections of this shit so that it can't, fucking grow back together and heal up and make me knocked up in 10 years. And then they have to put that shit all back and stitch each individual layer. Okay. So I'm sitting there with this 1-inch incision, and I'm at the house. My ex-husband's taking care of the kids, and I'm recuperating from, not only having a child, but also having minor surgery. And I needed to sneeze. I have allergies. Okay. So I needed to sneeze, and I'm just sitting on the bed, and I sneezed, and I woke up on the floor because that 1-inch incision, when I sneezed, made me pass out from the pain, and I woke up on the floor. Okay? 1-inch incision. Can you imagine having your whole fucking stomach? Not okay, even if it's not the whole stomach, even if it's only like the lower abdominal area. Can you imagine an incision that's like 6, 7, 8 inches long that had to be pulled apart, and then your uterus sliced open to deliver this child, and then they have to sew up, like, holy shit, my mind boggles. Like, women who've had C-sections are my fucking heroes. For real. Please stop shaming people that have had cesarean sections, for fuck's sake. It's not easy. It's not the easy way out. It is major surgery. And let's talk about that too. You motherfuckers that want to act like women who have just had babies need to stop acting like they're in pain. Or, well, Susie down the street, she went back to her pre-pregnancy body like 2 weeks after having the baby. Why haven't you? Okay, first of all, the same thing that makes a woman have small breasts as opposed to the one down the street who has bigger breasts, the same thing that makes that woman have a larger ass as opposed to that one who has a smaller ass. The same principle that makes that woman have a flat gut as opposed to that one with a little bit of pooch is the same thing that regulates whether or not a woman is going to bounce back immediately after having children, or if that's just who she is now. And none of those ways is right or wrong. So please stop. Like, dude, it took 9 months, 10 months. It's actually 10 months. It took 10 months for her body to get like that. What the fuck makes you think that it's just going to go right back? Are you high? The fuck? I've seen men that had a big shit and they want to talk about it for days afterwards, for God's sakes. I birthed a human being. Shut up. Gah! Listen. The same mechanisms that make a woman unique in her appearance is the same mechanism that's going to determine how easy or difficult it is for her to lose the weight after having children. And let's get one thing straight. Most of that's not even weight, so to speak. It's not like she just like ate for 10 months and had a food baby. Okay? She built a human life inside her body. She had to take in extra nutrients in order to sustain that life because she was literally eating for that child. She had to, her heart, by the end of the pregnancy, her heart is pumping. I could be wrong on this figure, but I think it's like 1.5 times or almost 2 times the amount of blood that her heart normally pumps. All of her systems, her waste production, her oxygen intake, her blood flow, all of it is elevated in order to sustain this life inside of her. So it's not technically weight. It's not like she gained nothing but fat. She was trying to sustain a human life. Something that doctors outside of the human body, when they have a premature baby, a doctor needs like a fucking room full of equipment and a medical team to do what a pregnant woman does while she's pregnant. And that's to sustain a human life, keep it alive, and make sure it stays healthy. Okay? So quit your shit. For fuck's sake. My God. And this bullshit of climbing up a pregnant woman's ass when she's having caffeine, climbing up a pregnant woman's ass when she's eating deli meats or undercooked eggs. Listen, our ancestors have been having babies for thousands of years. Okay? I'm not saying don't follow the medical advice of your doctor. What I am saying is filter that. Because it seems to me that when it comes to female medicine, this is going to be a bit of a long video, kids. I hope you're ready. Not like you have anything else to do. I have to go to work, but we still have a half an hour. I've noticed this about medicine when it comes to females. It seems to me that they don't really do as in-depth of research when it is medically applicable only to women. And I know a lot of you men are sitting there going, you sound like a fucking nut job. Okay, fine. You can fuck off. This doesn't concern you. This concerns my female audience, who I guarantee every last one of them is sitting there like, right? After I had my oldest daughter, before I had her, I was on Depo-Provera for 6 years. And then I had her. And then I decided to go back on Depo-Provera after I had her. Well, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know if it was the Depo-Provera. I don't know if it was just like a new hormonal thing with me. I don't know. But I proceeded to bleed for 18 months straight. Bleed. And I don't mean like, like heavy, oh my God, 2 fucking super plus tampons and a sanitary napkin style bleeding. I mean, like, it was just enough to make a mess and piss me off. Okay? You ladies know what I'm talking about on that one. That, God damn it! For 18 months. I went to 4 different doctors, including my midwife that I had while I was pregnant with my daughter. Okay? 4 different doctors. 4 different doctors. Every last one of them blew me off. Oh, you're a woman, Casey. You're meant to bleed. Not for 18 months straight, I'm not. Finally, I went to a specialty clinic here in town, and one of the doctors decided to tell me while I'm laying there with my feet in the stirrups, oh, you probably have cervical cancer. Okay. You chose to tell me this while I'm alone. Why? You dick. The other one said, it's a hormonal imbalance. Here's some birth control pills. And within a week, cleared right up. That's why birth control is health care. It's not just so you can have fun without making a baby. It is health care. But because my doctors, every last fucking doctor that I went to prior to this, oh, well, you're not anemic, which in and of itself is fucking weird because most women are slightly anemic regardless. They're like, oh, you're not anemic, so it's not a problem. I'm like, I'm continuously bleeding out of my vagina without it being a normal cycle. Yes, it is a problem. Okay? 4 doctors blew me off. This is a constant issue in our society. If it has to do only with women, if it is something that only applies to women, childbirth, birth control, abortion, anything that has to do with the uterus or the breasts, suddenly one fucking experiment, one fucking study is enough to make medical policy. Now, if it could apply to both men and women, oh, they'll throw a shitload of money at it. But if it only can apply to women, suddenly it's not worth the several peer-reviewed articles, the several replications of that study. It's the weirdest fucking thing. And every woman has dealt with it at some point or another in her life. It's much like sexual harassment or sexual assault for that matter. I've had several men come to me and talk to me about being sexually assaulted, not just by women, but by other men. And every last one of them, it was like watching a person destroyed. They felt so vulnerable and so broken. And they figure that because they're a guy, nobody's going to take them seriously. And I'm sitting there like, welcome to our world. Not diminishing their pain at all. At all. Every last one of them, I held them and let them cry on me and let them vent and let them be pissy. Because that's really all that we need. But every last one of them, I believed. Because I myself have been sexually assaulted several times throughout the course of my life. And every woman, without exception, at some point or another will have a similar experience. Every one of us. No exceptions. That is a staggering number. And for all of this shit, and don't get me wrong, I'm not like this raging fucking feminazi who's like, down with the patriarchy. Although, we've tried it your way for thousands of years. I'm just saying. In the middle of a pandemic. Just saying. I'm not one of those that's like, women are better than men. No, we're not. We're fucking moody. We're bitchy. We're fucking insane on our own level. Okay? The sooner that everybody understands that both genders, or actually I should say all genders, are just as fucking nuts as the next one, just in a different way, the better for everybody. Okay? We're all fucking nuts to one degree or another, but in a different way. The sooner everybody accepts that, the better. I'm just saying. The thing is that for one group, meaning you boys, to want to decide physical medical policy for everybody else, that you will never experience the same fucking shit as those other groups, is the height of arrogance. Okay, I have another, I'll call him an ex-friend. You know, we had a falling out. He's a douche. Who adamantly refused to address a transgendered person by their chosen qualifier. That, well, you were born of this, so that's what I'm calling you. That is the height of arrogance, my friend. That is some bullshit, because this is our body. This is the vessel for my soul. Okay? This body is housing this, which is the epicenter of who I am as a sentient cosmic being. What I choose to do with it is my business. Not yours, not yours, not yours, not yours. Mine. If I want to put on a prosthetic penis and call myself a guy, that's my right. If I want to lop these off and call myself male, that's my right. If I want to put a prosthetic penis and keep my vagina and call myself a hermaphrodite, that's my right. If I want to have an abortion, that's my right. If I want to kill myself because I'm sick of this fucking life, fuck this shit, that's my right. It is my body. And a transgendered individual telling you, no, my chosen pronoun, or I'm sorry, the word escapes me at the moment, is she. That's their right. That is the very basis of bodily autonomy. And let me tell you something, kids. Bodily autonomy is the very definition of freedom. And how can we claim to be this great country built on freedom if we won't even let another individual decide what they're doing with their own body? I don't know what the fuck is going on back there, and I don't want to know. This is why I say prostitution should be legal. I know what you're going to say. I said prostitution. I didn't say human trafficking. Okay? Prostitution. If that is that person's choice to sell their body for money, that's their right. Whether it be male, female, or anything in between, that's their right. If that is their honest choice, that's their right. What's the difference between that and a sugar baby? There is no difference. There is no difference. None. None whatsoever. What you tried to do to another human's body without their consent, without their informed consent, manipulating them into consenting, is not okay. I'm talking about you fucking pedophiles. I'm talking about you fucking manipulators. I'm talking about you men and women that just want a booty call but want to sit there and fucking, like, if the other person's like, nah, I don't want just a physical thing. I want a relationship. And you play that card of, oh, well, let's just see what happens. You're trying to manipulate them into doing what you want, which, I'm sorry, is a form of mental rape. What you are not allowed to talk anybody else into doing what you want with their body. You are only in control of your body. That's it. And because it is your body, you have the right to look another person in the face and say, no, that's not what I am. I'm not a female. I'm a transitioning male. I would prefer it if you called me Steve. I have that right to say that to another person, and I have the rightful expectation that they will honor that request because it is my body, not yours. And you fucking parents. This is what you get before my second cup of coffee. Sorry. You parents that your kids come out to and you lose your shit all over them. I love seeing those videos of those kids that come out to their parents, and the parents are just so accepting and they're so wonderful about it. You know, I love seeing them, but it also breaks my heart because that's not the norm. Okay. I hope to God that I have cultivated the kind of relationship with my children that they understand that they could show up, that my daughter could show up with another girl and say, hey mom, this is my girlfriend. And know unequivocally that I'm going to treat that situation the same way as if she came home with a boy and said, hey mom, this is my boyfriend. I'm going to invite you inside and offer you something to drink. Like, come on in. How you doing? Nice to meet you. I hope my kids know that they can show up on my doorstep with a partner of any gender and I will be just as accepting of their sexuality as well as their partners, because it's their body. If they want to fucking do that, that's their thing. What do I care? Why would I give a shit? What does it matter to you? Oh, well, I don't want my son to be gay because I want grandchildren. I need somebody to carry on the family name. It's the 21st century, dude. They can adopt. They can have a surrogate, have a child, and give that kid your last name. This is no longer... I can top that. Your daughter could be a lesbian and adopt a child or get artificially inseminated and choose to keep her own birth last name and give that child that name. Would you... That is no longer a qualifying argument. It never was to begin with, but it really isn't now. Oh, well, I'm not going to have a pansy for a son. Pansy for a son? Okay, I don't mean to I've known quite a few straight males that are even bigger pussies than the majority of the gay men that I've had the privilege to know. My second husband comes to mind. My first husband, as a matter of fact. I think I have a type, guys. Sexual orientation does not determine sissyhood. It doesn't. I'm sorry. In fact, you saying that tells me you're a fucking pussy. In case there was any question about that. Because if you are that threatened by what two men do with their winkies, you're not a secure man. You're not secure in yourself. And that is the very definition of a man. That's the very definition of being an adult, is being secure enough in yourself that, you don't give a shit what anybody else is doing. For fuck's sake. My God, this video kind of took a turn, didn't it? You asked. Just saying. All right, kids. I have about 15 minutes before I have to leave for the office, and I would like to get this uploaded and distributed to y'all before I go. So I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, before I go, though. When I republished my channel, I got a lot of these really fucking... Well, just one guy who apparently is stalking me, commenting on my videos, and I blocked him, and he fucking sent me an email this morning about how, anybody who doesn't agree with me, I block. No, I've actually had that said to me several times over the course of the years, and that's not the truth. If you don't agree with me, that's great. I love a good debate. It's when you're an asshole that I delete you. It's when you come on there, you fat pig, you're wrong. Mammy. No, motherfucker. because ad hominem attacks are the very basis. This is a sign. That's how I know you're full of shit and you have no idea what you're talking about, is if you immediately come off insulting me, I'm not going to, you wasted your fucking time. First of all of the comments on my channel are by approval only. So I'm the only one who's going to see that until I approve it. And if you automatically start off with that bullshit, click deleted. I don't even read the rest of the fucking thing. I don't. Secondly, if you have a valid point, I would love to discuss it with you. I would love to have a talk and see what's going on and, you know, actually have an exchange of information, because I don't know everything. Never claimed to. I never claimed to. I never claimed that I knew everything about the legal system. I never claimed that I'm an attorney, because I'm not. I've never claimed that I know everything. I just happen to know a lot of stuff. And the stuff that I do know, I do speak very confidently in because I know it. But even I'm not so arrogant as to be like, okay, I know that fact now, file that away. You know, there's a very good chance that future information is going to be like, no, you don't. If you have proof that something that I said is wrong, great, let's talk about it. Give me your sources so that I can check it out and see, you know, and learn. But if you're just going to come at me with, oh, well, I sent your video to this person and they said you're wrong. Well, first of all, Cupcake, I looked at the people that you fucking sent my shit to. And if you're going to be sending my stuff to other people to prove me wrong, you might want to send it to people who actually have verifiable credentials, because those are the only ones that I'm going to listen to. This is the scientific method again. I have whole institutions who follow me on Twitter. This asshole's like, oh, you have all of these followers and you lead them, you snow them, you lie to them. Well, if it was just, you know, this many individuals, maybe. I have a school of criminal justice from Dublin, Ireland that follows me. I have actual licensed attorneys who follow me. I seem to recall, I could be wrong, I seem to recall that there is a law school in America that uses my videos in their curriculum. I have legal experts who not only follow me, but have contacted me and I can run stuff by and they can verify whether I'm full of shit or not before I even record a video. Okay? Not only that, but everything that I discuss in my official legal videos, I have cross-referenced no less than 3 times to make sure I'm giving accurate information. You sent me somebody with a credential base that is questionable at best. Pardon me if I don't take her seriously. Sorry. I don't. Now, if you want to come to me and discuss how I'm wrong on something, great. Do it respectfully. Don't be a dick. Don't come off with, you're wrong. You're an ass. You're an idiot. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I have 2 degrees that say otherwise, Cupcake. What do you have? The fact is that in any debate, you are only entitled to what you can prove. If you think I'm wrong, fucking great. Leave a comment down below. Don't be an asshole. Be respectful. You know, hey, Casey, I think that thing that you said is not right, and here's why. You know, great, we'll have a discussion. Fantastic. But if you start with, you fat pig, fuck you. That right there tells me that you're full of shit. You didn't actually research your stuff. Okay? We're all adults here. And I know that the way that I present myself often will give people this impression that that's how you approach me. It's not an act. This is who I am anyway. But you're not getting a character that I wrote. This is me. I would talk like this to you if we were sitting down having a cup of coffee. But if you honestly believe that I'm wrong, fine. Give me your proof. Show me. I'm happy to learn. I don't know everything. I know I don't know everything. And why people think that I think that I know everything, I will never know. Because I've said it many times that I don't know everything. And I would love to learn. I love to learn. I love it more than anything in the world. So just don't be a dick and, bring me your proof and I'll be happy to fucking look it over and be like, okay, you've got a point. Fantastic. Great. Thanks for that. If you're wrong, I'm going to be like, well, I see what you're saying, but, these other peer-reviewed sources say that you're wrong. But it's okay. This is how we learn. That's why they call me mama, is I'm finishing the fucking job yours didn't do. Okay? Come to me with respect, and I'll happily talk to you. If I wouldn't put up with that kind of shit from one of my own kids, and I gave birth to them, what the fuck makes you think I'm gonna put up with it from you? If I wouldn't put up with that shit from my own mama, may God rest her soul, what the hell makes you think I'd put up with it from you? Okay? Be nice. Have manners. Be polite. You can cuss at me while you're being polite. It can be done. That's fine. But be nice. All right, kids. That's all for me today. Don't forget to subscribe to me here on YouTube. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Mama Phoenix 6. And if you boogie on over to the About page here on my channel, you'll find everything from my Pinterest boards to my Facebook fan page. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you soon.